Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will be creating login and sign up using Firebase Realtime database. So basically, you will store multiple data at the time of sign up and use those data as login credentials. For example, I'll be storing email, name, password and username, out of which I'll be using username and password as a login credentials. Simple, right? But what exactly is Firebase Realtime database? Firebase Realtime database is a NoSQL database that allows you to store and synchronize data in real time. Basically, it will help you to build real-time applications such as chat applications, collaborative to-do list, social media, and many more without any need of complex server-side code. Great, right? But instead of Firebase real-time database, you want to go for Firebase authentication, then I already uploaded a video on it. You can click on the I button to watch. So yeah, with that said, let's move to our Android Studio. Open Android Studio and choose empty activity. Name the project as Signup Login Realtime and language as Java. Click on Finish. As we are using Firebase Realtime, we need to enable few Firebase settings to connect it with our project. Go to Realtime Database. Then click on Get Started with Realtime Database. Click on Connect to Firebase and then Build. It will automatically going to open Firebase console in your browser. Then click on Add Project and keep the name as it is. You guys can enable analytics, no problem. Click on Connect and Continue. Now click on Add Realtime Database SDK. So basically it will automatically going to add real-time database dependency in your Gradle file. Once the project is connected, go back to our Firebase project. Click on Build and then Real-Time Database. Now click on Create Database. Keep the location setting as it is. Start in locked mode have few restrictions when it comes to accessing the data. So as a beginner, it is better to go for start in test mode. Then click Enable. As of now, there is no data present in the real-time database, hence it is showing as null. Finally, we are done with all the Firebase settings. And now let's move to our prerequisites. Go to colors.xml. Press Ctrl+D to duplicate the line and name the color as lavender. Then the hex code as 8692F7. Now go to themes.xml. Change the theme from dark action bar to no action bar. Then change the color primary and color primary variant as lavender. Then right click on drawable folder. We will create a lavender border which will act as a border around the edit text. Change the root element as shape and click OK. Give the shape as rectangle and then create a stroke with 2 dp thickness. And color as lavender. Then lastly, corner radius as 30 dp. Now we will add background image. So copy the background image and paste it in the drawable folder. Now we require 4 vector asset beside the edit text. So right click on drawable, then click on new vector asset and type name as email. Let me quickly add all of them. and done. Now we need to create Signup activity. So right click on package name it as Signup activity and tick launcher activity. So when you open the app, the Signup activity will be the first screen to be shown. Also we need to create login activity as well. So same procedure and name it as login activity, then click finish. We also require helper class. So right click on package name, then new, then Java class. Now go to Android manifest. By default, our launcher screen is main activity, but we created Signup activity as a launcher screen, right? So remove the launcher intent filter from main activity section and export it will be through only for the launcher screen. So make it as false. Now close all the tabs. Now go to activity Signup. We will be using linear layout instead of constraint layout. And then keep orientation as vertical, gravity as center, and add a background image. You can download the background image from the description box. Now add a card view. Then give it a radius as 30 dp and elevation as 20 dp. Then inside the card view, add a linear layout. Then again keep the orientation as vertical. I added lavender border as a background to linear layout. So basically it will create a border around the layout. Now add a text view that will act as a Signup heading. Then create an edit text for name and then give it an ID as Signup_name. Add background as lavender border, which will create a border around the edit text. Then add a designated icon in the drawable folder and give it a decent padding. Now copy the entire edit text and paste it. We will use this edit text for email. So for that, change the ID, hint, and then drawable left icon. Again, paste the same code for username edit text. Similarly, change ID, hint, and drawable left icon. Then again paste the same code for password edit text. Change few attributes. And add input type as text password, which will turn your password into asterisk. Now create a Signup button. Then ID as Signup_button. And corner radius as 20 dp. Lastly, create a text view that will redirect the user from Signup activity to login activity. And we will give it as ID login redirect text. and done. Now copy the entire XML code because we will be using the same code in the activity login with few changes. Paste the code in activity login. Firstly, change the context to login activity and then change the heading as login. Now remove email and name edit text because for login we will be using credentials as username and password only. Then change the ID as login_username and similarly login_password. Now change button text from Signup to login and also its ID. Lastly, change the text and ID. This text view will redirect the user from login activity to Signup activity using intent. Then change the margin top of login username from 20 dp to 40 dp. Now go to activity main. This will be our home page. So first add a background. Then change the text. And give the text size as 36 sp and color as white and done. Go to helper class. Declare all the variables that we will be storing in Firebase Realtime database. Now right click, then select generate and then click on constructor. It will be an empty constructor and select only the class name and click OK. Now again we will create a constructor but with all the variables. So click on generate, then constructor, then select all the variables and click OK. Then we will generate getter setter. For that right click, then generate and then click on getter setter. Select all the variables and click OK and we are done. Now go to Signup activity. Declare all the necessary variables. As we are using Firebase Realtime, so we need to declare Firebase database and database reference. Now initialize all of them. Then add on-click listener on Signup button. Firstly, initialize database and reference. Users is referred to as a parent name in the Firebase database. Now with the help of getText2String, take the input value from user through edit text. Then call the helper class and mention all the associated variables. As I previously said, our parent name is users and our child name is name. But in the part 2 video, I have rectified my mistake that reference child will be username instead of name. You can refer the pinned comment for more detail. Now add a toast as sign up successful and create intent that will redirect the user to login activity once successfully registered. Lastly, add on click listener on login redirect text view, where we will create an intent that will lead user from sign up page to login page. And done. Now let's move to login activity. Declare all the necessary variables. Now initialize all of them. As I previously said, for the credentials part, we will be using username and password. So for that, we need to validate username. Firstly, take the user input value from login edit text and store it in val variable. Then if val, that is username, is empty, an error will be thrown as username cannot be empty. Else, it won't throw any error which will be null. Now copy the entire validate username and paste it again, because we will be using this one for validating password. Change the edit text as login password and also the text. Now create a method named as checkUser, which will check if the user is present in the database or not. So take the input value from edit text with the help of getText2string and store it in user username and user password variable respectively. Then database reference will refer the exact parent name that we created at the time of sign up, which we named as users. Now with the help of query, we will compare the username that is already stored in the database with the username that user provided at the time of login. And then the comparison will be stored in checkUser database variable. Now add listener for a single value event on checkUser database variable. It will automatically going to create two methods, that is data change and on cancelled. So it says if snapshot exists, which means if user exists, then error will be null. Then username's child value, that is password, is stored in password from database variable. Okay. Now it will compare the password that is present in the database with the user password that will be provided at the time of login. Also, please rectify the code. For more details, you can check the pinned comment. So if the password matches, then the error will be null Then create an intent that will redirect the user from login activity to main activity. Or else, that means if the password does not match, then it will throw an error as invalid credentials. Also, a request focus method is used to request that the given edit text view gets the focus, which means it will be ready to receive input from the user. Then referring to our previous if, we will write our else, that means the user does not exist. Hence, it will throw an error as user does not exist. Simple. Now add onClickListener on login button, where we will call all the methods. So first, if validate username and validate password is not true, then nothing will work. Else, if validate username and validate password is true, then check user method will work. Lastly, add on ClickListener on Signup redirect text view, where we will create an intent that will lead the user from login page to Signup page. And done. Now let's run the app. Enter all the values: name, email, username, and password. Then click on Sign Up. Our parent is created as users, whose child is username, which will store all the values. Now let's log in with the respective credentials. Click on Login button. And done. We are successfully logged in into our app's homepage. So yeah, that is it for the video. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.